This is the story of the orange. It's the famous negotiation story. And it goes like this. There's two sisters, two little girls, and they're in a kitchen, and there is an orange. And they both really want the orange, and they're fighting over the orange, and there's just one orange left, and they're going at it, and they're fighting. And their dad comes in and finds them fighting, asks them what's going on, and each of them's like, I want the orange, I want the orange. Each of them gives all these reasons why she should get the orange. The father doesn't find any of these reasons particularly compelling, and so does the fairest thing he can think of, which is take the orange and cut it in half, give half of the orange to each daughter. They go off with their orange halves. The next day, the father goes up to the first daughter and says to her, how did that go? And she says, oh, I see how you did was fair. I wanted the orange because I wanted to make orange juice. And because I only had half an orange, I could only make half a glass of orange juice. But what you did was fair, I get it. Then he goes up to the second daughter. He says, how does it go? How did it go? And she says, oh, it went well. I wanted the orange because I was making a cake, and the recipe called for the peel of the orange. And because I only had half the orange peel, I could only make half the cake. But, I see how what you did was fair. Right? So you're laughing because you see what the mistake was, as I think everyone was. So what could he have done differently? Right, he could divide it up differently, and each daughter could have had they actually talked about it. So in terms of, one daughter could have had the whole peel, and one daughter could have had the whole pulp. In terms of positions and interests, it's a really simple idea. So the position is, I want the orange, but the underlying interest is, why do you want the orange? Oh, I want it so I can make cake. Oh, I want it so I can make juice. Once you look at the underlying interests, you can start to come up with these different solutions. So you can come up with ways to make things better for both parties. So if you think about it, at the beginning, there's just only so much goodness in the world, right? Like either one sister's going to get the cake, in which case the other sister's just not going to get any juice at all. Or you think, oh, that sister will get the juice and the other sister won't get any cake, or it can be half and half, it can be 25-75. But this whole approach to negotiation is an approach where you imagine that we're dividing up a pie and the size of the pie is fixed, and we can't create any more value. But what we see in this is that if we talk, we can invent options for mutual gain. We can create an outcome where one daughter gets, in this case, all the juice, and a whole glass of juice, and the other daughter gets the whole cake. So by doing this, you can invent options for mutual gain. The metaphor that's used for that is often the idea of expanding the pie. So this is a really powerful and useful idea. But to do that, you have to look at the underlying interests. And the thing that I want to suggest is that very often, in lots and lots of situations in life, there are great solutions like this that are not obvious.